All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracy is related to Upscale Love for You.
Good evening, everyone. This is yours truly, Dr. Fabulous, coming to you live from the wonderful, beautiful city of Hinesville, Georgia. And we are going to have a hot topic this evening, something that I don't know anything about, but I'm willing to learn and listen and have all that good conversation about it. But until then, I'm going to turn it over to my friend, Lady T.
Welcome, everyone. This is Lady T coming live from the 305. I am so excited about tonight. I hope you learned something and leave with a lots of laugh. And I'm going to turn it over to Special K.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Kay. I'm coming to you from 912 Savannah, Georgia. I'm just hoping everyone had a good week so far. And I'm wanting to thank all of you for tuning in tonight and joining in tonight's discussion, whether you participate or just hear. I appreciate everyone coming on tonight. Also, like Lady T said, I'm so ready for tonight's topic and discussion, and I'm excited to see what it's going to bring. So again, thanks everyone.
And over to the one and only Dr. Feelgood.
Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Feelgood, the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. I'm the beast from the east and will be your man with a plan. Back to you, Dr. Fab.
All right. So if this is your first time joining Upscale Love for You tonight, I would love to tell you why we are here and what it's all about. So with that being said, Upscale Love is formulated to entertain, educate, and facilitate self-help and self-love and everything you wish to know and learn about a relationship. Upscale Love will cover hot topics, sensitive issues, and tales of singleton, even down to parenting struggles and everything between. Whether you are actively seeking direction or looking for ways to pass the time, or just generally looking for a good conversation, Upscale Love is here for you. And tonight we are going to bring it hot and heavy, and we're going to go ahead and get started if you're ready to talk about relationships. And the question that we're posing this evening is, can you love more than one person at the same time when you're in a relationship? And we're going to talk about monogamy. We're going to talk about non-monogamy. And what is it? Let me think. Let me think of it. What is it called, Dr. Feelgood?
Polyamory.
Polyamorous. Okay, so we're going to talk about all of these things this evening, and I'm just going to put it out there. Has anyone here, anyone, ever heard, or should I say, ever tested the waters about the polyamorous thing? Because I had someone to tell me that that was something that they had truly thought about. So the main question is, can you love more than one person at a time in a relationship? So I'm gonna ask Leanne, how you doing tonight, Leanne?
Leanne is tired and you just
I caught you
No,
I
that's
caught
okay.
you on the first.
That's okay. Yes. Okay. Your question again.
The question is, can you love more than one person when you're in a relationship? Because I know if it was me and I was trying to build a bear, of course, I could take from here, I can take from there, and I could put it together and make what I want. But when I'm in a relationship, a true relationship, are you able to love more than one person at the same time?
Okay. Yes. The answer is going to be yes. However,
Yes,
are you
however.
going to be are you going to be in love with more than one person? You can love more than one, but somebody's going to get shortchanged. Okay? Because you can love them, but you might not be in love with them. And let me just give you an example. And doesn't refer to me, but just an example. I have a friend that has been married for a long time. And now that she's older, her husband is older, and they're not sexually compatible like they used to be. She tips out on her husband. She loves her husband. She loves her new partner, but she's in love with her new partner and not her husband. So trying to love two, that's a song, ain't easy to do, but can it be done? Yes.
Okay, well, thank you, Leanne, for sharing that with us because, it's so funny that you say that because I received or I read a quote. It says, once you love someone, you love them forever. People fall out of trust, they fall out of intimacy, respect, but never not love. So you said that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said that she's in love with her new partner and she's no longer in love with her husband. Is that what you said?
But she loves her husband. There's a difference
Oh,
between
okay.
loving and being in love.
I
It
got
being
you.
in love is that spark, that um shooting star in the sky. But
Hmm.
yet still she loves her husband. She's just not in love with him. That's why I
Oh,
say it's two.
okay.
So
Cause
loving two people is valid. You can love two, but
okay,
somebody's going to get shortchanged because she's not in love with her husband. She loves her husband. She's in love with her new partner.
got you. So she's feeling that she got that tingle sensation,
That giddiness. You know how you get that
that,
giddy,
that giddy, new
that
car
new fresh
smell.
love, that giddiness. Yes.
Oh, I
Mhm.
got you. I got you. Tammy, you got your hand up. Come on, Tammy.
Hello, everyone. Um, I wanted to comment on the quote you just stated you heard or read, and
Mm-hmm.
also comment on being in love with two people at the same time or something like that. I am
Mm-hmm.
driving, so I have you guys on speakerphone in the car by myself. So
That's
I'm
fine. That's
kind of
fine.
driving and watching where I'm going. But with that, being in love with two people, I think it's possible depending on the type of relationship you and that person have. What if you have an open relationship and you with different people and they bringing different things to the table, as you mentioned about build a bear type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can love something different from each person. But if you're okay, for me, I want to be in a one-on-one relationship. I don't look outside of that.
Okay.
So it would be hard for me to be in love. And then with the quote you mentioned about you don't fall out of love or something you stated that you read,
It said once you love
and
someone,
the
you love them
uh
forever.
huh.
People fall out of trust, intimacy, love, not love, never not love, but they fall out of trust, intimacy, and respect.
Okay, so with me hearing that, I think about you fall in love with a person by the things they do, the way they make you feel, your experiences. If those things now stop and it changes, how is that love still there? Because it was built on those things. So I believe you can fall out of love, but that's just my perception of it.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to
All
say.
right. Well, thank you so much. And that was just a quote that I read. I'm not
Right.
saying that's from the thoughts of Dr. Fabulous. That was only a
Yeah.
quote that I read.
Right.
Okay. And thank you so much,
Okay.
Ms. Dukes, for sharing. And I'm going
No
to
problem.
jump down. Mr. Thomas, Gerald Thomas, welcome, welcome. To all the newcomers on the board, welcome, welcome. All right. Now, I would like to ask Dr. Feelgood his opinion. He's a man, and I'm sure that I'm not going to say I'm sure because I don't even know. I'm just going to ask that question. Dr. Feelgood, if you're in a true relationship, not no figuring it out, not no beating around the bush, you're in a true relationship with someone, do you think that you can love another?
Well, it depends what type of love you're talking about. Is it philos love, meaning I have an affinity for you? Is it eros love, meaning I lust after you? Or is it agape love, meaning I have unconditional love for you?
Well,
Yes,
agape love is normally
you can love two people at once. You can love somebody like a brother or a sister, and you can love somebody romantically and want to be with him. The young lady who was speaking earlier about her friend whose sexual taste changed over the years, and she has somebody who she loves now like a brother, and she has somebody she loves like a boyfriend.
mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean her love is any less. It's just different types of love. And the opposite of love is not hate. Love and hate are the two sides of the same coin because you actually have a reaction or feeling for someone. The opposite of love is apathy. When you no longer care what happens to a person, whether they live, die, or breathe or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that's the opposite of love. When you stop caring about somebody. So yes, you can. It doesn't always work because Jesus said in the Bible that how can you serve two masters? Either you're going to love one and hate the other. Somebody's going to get you at their best and somebody's going to get the leftovers. Now, how you work that out is on you, but the most precious thing a person can give to another person is their time. And if you say you love two people, you won't be able to give them equal time. That's why I never believe in 50-50 anything. Things can be even, but it's not going to be 50-50 because you can't spread yourself that thin and be effective. That's all I got, Dr. Fabulous.
All right, then. So I know that I'm 50 plus, okay? And at this stage in the game for me, trying to love two people can be a little difficult for me. You know, I'm not the one that I'm gonna play the playette, or, you know, guys would be the players, ladies would be the playettes. So I wouldn't say that at this stage in the game, I'm trying to do the playette kind of thing. I'm actually, as they say, looking for that real true to spend the rest of my life with, before we all are pushing up daisies, or should I say I'm pushing up daisies. But like I said, my husband is deceased now. So right now I'm not playing the games. I'm really like, I'm gonna get out there and God is gonna bless. Everybody's heard this. But when you meet people and then you find that one has the quality that you're looking for, but he's lacking in another area. And then you go out and date someone else, and that person has the quality that you're looking for. And then you say, well, I'm not married. So do I just keep two good friends because one meets the need on one hand and the other one meets the other need? And as I said earlier, it was almost like the Build-A-Bear shop. If I could just build a bear and take what I want from this one and put it with that one, then I would have the perfect person. And I'm not even going to say perfect. I would have exactly what I'm looking for. So with that being said, I'm going to jump on down here to Nikki. Nikki, I'm talking to you tonight because my sister Nikki is not on. So can you hear me, Nikki?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening,
Oh,
everyone.
good evening. Good evening.
My thoughts are, well, I know in regards to the quote you were talking about and what the lady was talking about earlier. I don't love my ex-husband. That love had just gone out the door. And so for me to believe in that quote, no.
Okay.
Internally be in love, but to love two people, it would be difficult to try to give, like Dr. Feelgood was saying, even time and attention to each one, because each person's probably going to have their own needs, and trying to spread yourself very thin would be at a disadvantage for both of the individuals that I would be involved with. So I would just like to concentrate on that one person and give my all to that one person.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you, Nikki, for sharing. Are there any newcomers that would like to jump in at this time and tell me your thoughts or views about loving two people at once when you're in a relationship? And not just a relationship. See, Dr. Feelgood tried to clean it up with the biblical sense, agape love, this type love. No, I'm talking about that sexual intimacy kind of love. So, is there anyone, I don't want to call you out because I don't know whether or not you would like to share, but can I just get a volunteer from a guy and then I'll come back to a woman? Is there any men on here that would like to share? Mr. Beard, don't make me have to call you.
Since you opened that door. So your question was,
What you say, Mr. Beard?
talking about physical, can a man? I said, since you opened that door, your question is physically, can somebody love two people?
When you're in a
Not emotionally,
relationship.
not spiritually.
When you,
Okay,
I'm
in a
not talking
relationship,
about,
I think you can.
no. I'm not talking about agape love where you going to church and you give that church lady that old spiritual hug. I'm talking about some old lustful when you're in a relationship and you got that girlfriend that thinks she's number one, numero uno, but then you see something else and you meet someone else, and then that, I'm not going to call them a side piece, but that other person is trying to come to the state of being number one. That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Beard. See, Dr. Feelgood was trying to make it sound good, but he knew what I was talking about.
I think you can, to be perfectly honest with you. There's nothing that I've seen, because you know the heart is a mysterious place. It's a mysterious thing. You can fall in love with this woman because of her nurturing feelings, how she feel about her, you know, how she look, and then you can fall in love with this one because of emotional connections. She mentally relates to you. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't really even choose who you want to fall in love with. You can meet the perfect person today, and you know it just don't click. I think that we get tied up because you know relationships are we feel like are meant to be monogamous. So when you introduce yourself to that one person, you're only supposed to focus on that one person. So you don't allow yourself to see nobody else. But it's just like dating. You know, I can love this person because of who she is, and I can love this person because of what she does for me. That doesn't mean that I'm sharing it. It just means there's things about that one that attract me to her, or that makes me want to be with her. And at the end of the day, if I'm looking for monogamous relationships, I got to weigh my options. Which one means the most to me, and that's who I choose. But with polygamy, it's a different world, you know? Polygamy is pretty much a three-way triangle, so I'm not sliding with anybody. I'm in tune with her. She's in tune with her and me. I'm in tune with both of them. So it's really a three-way relationship. It's not like I'm creeping with her and she's a little upset or she's a little mad because I'm spending more time with her. It's supposed to be a triad to a certain extent from what I've read and researched on it. It's just a matter of people making each other feel secure in it. So they literally do love each other. It's just that they have a more open understanding on it's three of us instead of just two.
Okay, so I'm listening to you, Mr. Bird. I'm hearing everything you're saying. So let me recap. You said, when we think of a relationship, we normally think of monogamy. But with the polyamorous type thing, it's now learning how to love everyone in your circle, that triangle or circle, because you could have two, you could have three, you could have four. The more, the merrier. And it's an understanding that you said you must have in order for this to work out right. And everyone in that little, how can I say, that little grouping has to feel secure about one another. Now, you said you researched it, Mr. Beard. Would you share with me if you had really tried it? And if you liked it, please tell me, because I truly want to know.
I never tried it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna
Oh,
lie. I thought about it. I mean, as a man, it did appear to me certain aspects did stand out more than others. So I was looking into it, but I ain't gonna lie. The number one reason why I never went or even tried something like that is because it just seemed like too much of a headache when it ain't going right. You know,
okay.
I'm not gonna lie, and I ain't gonna be biased, but you know, sometimes dealing with one woman can be hell on wheels by herself, but to have two of them spazzing out on me, I can't function. I ain't go home.
Oh,
But
okay.
I do have a brother, you know, in the military, and he's experimented with some of that stuff. And you know, I was really confused about it at first. And I used to, this is before it became mainstream and everybody started talking about it. They was doing their little behind the door, under the table thing. And it confused me, but you know, hanging around them from time to time, we'll have barbecues, he'll throw a barbecue and watching them react. You know, it actually did seem like they was just one unit. It didn't seem like it was the main chick and the side chick. I mean, the two wives will go hang out from time to time together like they're best friends.
So
And that's just the way it worked for them.
now I'm just a little curious. You said the two wives. So when they have this, do all three of the people or all four of the people get married? Because the first time I ever saw this was on television with Sister Wives. And I was like, man, that man must have a strong game to have all these women as his wife, almost like a harem, but all of them was truly his wife. And I said, that's different, because what could a man say to me? And I'm talking about Dr. Fabulous. What could a man say to me to even want to make me even think of such about sharing and being in a relation with me, him, and another woman? Because I know myself, my characteristics. I'm gonna just put it out there, point blank, period. I'm a very selfish kind of woman. So therefore, I don't like to share, not even to think about knowing that I'm sharing, because if I am sharing, I don't want to know that I'm sharing, especially someone that I care about. So I thank you so much, Mr. Beard, for sharing your thoughts about it. And I'm, as being a host of a podcast, I try to keep, how they say, my mind open to different things and not put my personal views out there, but sometimes I think it might just shine on through. But I'm going to turn it over to Lady T, because you know what? Lady T, I believe she might be just a little bit more open than Dr. Fabulous. And of course, Dr. Feelgood. That's why they call him Dr. Feelgood, because of that. But Lady T, throw out your thoughts there. And welcome, Ravon. You know you late, but I'm gonna let you have that one.
Welcome, everyone. Well, my thoughts on that is, I think you can love many people, but to actually, be in love, I think it's only one person. Because from my personal experience, when I was going through my divorce, I had a Monday through Sunday love. I had a Monday that would take me out, a Tuesday hang out, Wednesday. We were never sexual, but my Monday dude, we would like hang out, go to fancy places and so forth. Then my Tuesday dude, he was kind of like laid back. We would do the beach and the boat thing. So I think if you're like totally in love with that person, is that they have all the qualities. Now, as far as like being with one person, my thoughts are, if you are not married, like if he didn't put that ring on it, I feel like you can do whatever you want to whomever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as being with more than one person, if that's your fetish, that's your thing, I say go for it.
But this is what I think I'm missing, because Mr. Bird said married. The three people are actually a married unit with this polyamorous deal. And is it legal? Because I don't know the logistics behind all of that. I'm going to ask Dr. Feelgood to research that. Is it legal when all three are actually married together?
Not in the US.
In the U.S., what they do is they have civil unions. They can be in a common law marriage with more than one person. However, legally by the state, you can only be married to one person. But what people usually do is to have a civil union with the third partner or fourth partner. And it's not about game. It's about households, if you want to really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
With two incomes, three incomes, you're just able to build more. If everybody's on the same team, everybody knows who's at the hierarchy, things can go well. But it's all, everybody has to have the same mindset. And that's the problem. We as in the West, because think about this. People talking about, well, one man, one woman in the Bible, but that wasn't always. Jacob had two wives. He had Rebecca and he had Leah. He said there were plenty. Solomon had 700 wives and 1 billion concubines. And that wasn't illegal. So it didn't change until after the advent of the New Testament. A man shall have one wife. Mm-hmm. What happened there? In Africa, in the Middle East, you could have as many wives as you can afford. Well, cheating is not what that is. Cheating is we talked about that about a year ago. Cheating is doing something out of range without your partner's explicit consent.
Okay.
So if I'm talking to some woman behind my woman's back and she don't know about that woman, am I cheating? Yes. If I am out there on a million dating apps and I have someone I call my lady, am I cheating? Yes. You don't have to actually have intercourse with somebody to cheat.
Okay.
You don't even have to spend money on somebody to cheat.
Okay.
But polyamory, polygyny, and polygamy are two different things, and they're both different from cheating.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I thank you for that, Dr. Feelgood. I'm gonna jump over to Kay. Kay, you were getting ready to say something because listen, y'all, and that's how come I say my thought passage is so totally different. I have a home in Miami, and the first time, and I'm gonna tell you, I tried to keep a straight face. I put it up for rent, and the man and two women came to look to want to rent the property. And then he turns to me and say, no, I asked him, I said, so which one is the wife? This was me. And he says, both of them. And so he was African American. And I just was like, okay, now he playing with me. I say, now for real, which one is your wife? And he says, both of them. And it was so strange to me because they started talking about who was going to get the master bedroom and this and that and the other. And I was like, wow, this is different. So my eyes definitely has opened because never in a million years I was thinking like that in the African American culture. But I see in our chat, someone says that this has been going on for a long time in African American culture. But I guess because I was living with my little pink glasses on, I never thought of such because I was happily married, never thinking I'm going to get me a third party. Lady B526, your hand is up. Come on and join in.
How are you?
I'm
Good evening,
fine.
everybody. So I had the privilege, Dr. Feelgood had talked about the Middle East, and I had the privilege of working and teaching in Dubai for 8 years. And one of the things that I learned is that in the Muslim culture, the men can, if they can afford it, they can marry up to 4 women.
Mm.
And what I learned very quickly when we talked about the social constraints in the society, I would go to the mall and you would see the man walking down and the 2 or 3 women would be walking behind him. And again, this is Dubai, it's a very wealthy country. But one of the things that it took me, that I learned, and I tell this story a lot, is that if I lived in the Middle East, it's not the first wife who the man necessarily loves. The first wife that he married typically is who he marries out of obligation to the family. It's the
Okay.
second wife who he oftentimes loves because that's who he chooses. So
Okay.
it was a different paradigm shift. And so oftentimes, because I would teach in the Middle East and I would meet parents, and some of the women would walk in and she would say, I'm the first wife. Because in the Middle East, like in a lot of these Middle Eastern countries, it's all about the business arrangements, it's all about the money, it's all arranged. The concept of love is very Western. In Eastern culture, this kind of concept of love is very foreign. I remember I taught in a girls' school and I've been married for 20, 21 years. And they would say, "Oh, do you marry for love, Miss Ramsey?" And I would tell them yes. And they'd be like, "What's that like? What's that like?" So this concept of love is very Western.
Mm,
And the second wife typically is who the husband got to choose.
mm,
After the family chose the first wife, he had 2 or 3 sons. He's good. He's did the family obligations. She might be living in her own house. He's done with that. Now he gets to go and choose the woman that he loves. And that's not hearsay. I've seen it. I've heard it.
Alexa,
And yes,
Tyson likes the 2%.
say it again.
somebody like 2% something. I don't know who said that, but okay. Tyson like 2%. But anyway, go ahead, Lady B.
Um, I think that's it. I just feel like um, that is just something that I lived through, and understanding that love operates differently, and a lot of what we perceived as love is very cultural, and
Let-
it's not. Go ahead.
I was going to ask a question.
Sure.
You were there, you had the visuals. So, was the first wife appealing to the eye? Did the second wife look better or had more enhancements than the first wife? Or how is it? Are they marrying younger each time out of the four wives? How does that work? Or do you
So the
know?
irony, the irony is that in general, I would say Middle Eastern women are very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of that has to do with the wealth. These are
Okay.
very wealthy women. It was not uncommon for women to go on spring break and get a nose job, a chemical peel, very competitive as far as beauty. So, no, I wouldn't say, oh, the second wife had more beautiful than the first wife, because the women actually all knew that they had to kind of step up their game, if you will, because that's part of the culture.
Okay.
Very beautiful women, very beautiful.
Okay.
Um, so no, I didn't feel like, and culturally it's acceptable. So they kind of all know this is how it's going to go. Um, Typically, if you're first or second, you're typically in a higher position. From what I saw living in the Middle East, when you start becoming the third or fourth wife, but Middle Eastern men typically are marrying men. I will say that. Um, but if you walk in, because like a little side story, some girls are picking on another girls and they were bullying each other. And one of the girls said, "Well, at least my mama not a fourth wife." So I was just
Ooh.
like, what's going on? What's happening? So even within Middle Eastern culture, there is that hierarchy. But from what I've seen, the second wife oftentimes has more privilege than the first wife.
See, that's what I was getting ready to say, because if the husband has children with all four wives, what happens if a slip up and the children get together?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's very funny that you would say that, because what happens is even in Dubai, it's not the children, but something else that's very taboo, that they don't talk about it, but it's real. It's not uncommon, and this is just what I've seen, but it was not uncommon for first cousins to marry. Now, the reason, believe it or not, historically, they were trying to keep the bloodline pure. And the thought is that I know this person, um, but it had something to do with the bloodline. So, yes, in certain parts of the Middle East, people are still marrying their first cousins.
Oh
So,
my.
you're not off with that. Again,
Okay.
it's all cultural. It's cultural.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. You've been so very informative and all that good
You're
stuff.
welcome.
And Dr. Fabulous definitely appreciate you coming. Don't let this be your last time. Hint, hint. You know, I know who you are.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
But anyway, I see somebody on the board and the name caught my eye. Shorty 4. Shorty 4. Can you hear me? Okay, well, Shorty 4 not saying anything. I'm gonna turn it over to Special K, and the
He
floor
said,
is
yeah,
yours.
this is Shorty. I just joined in here.
Huh?
I said, this is Shorty. I just joined in here. What's going on?
What's going on with you? I wanted to know, the question tonight is, can you love more than one person when you're in a relationship? And do you know anything about this polyamorous? Are you willing to try it? Have you tried it? Tell me something. Just
Well,
give me
I
what you
mean,
got.
for myself as a young male, I mean, right now I actually do have a girlfriend. I actually am looking forward to marrying her. So I actually am into keeping one woman. And for me, I mean, personally, I would not let my woman go out and, you know what I'm saying, do what she does or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't do the same because it's respect factor.
Okay.
But I'm not with that all that other stuff. I'm not with
Hollywood
that.
wants to say.
Yeah. Probably whatever they want to do with themselves. I'm not with that. I'm strictly, you know what I'm saying, one way, one script.
Okay. Well, we talking the same language, Shorty. I knew that
Yes,
Shorty
ma'am.
before. I knew we was knocking at the same door, Shorty. So,
Yes, ma'am. We got to. It's
all,
only one way to do that thing.
all right. And now, Shorty, the name Shorty 4 says Shorty. How tall are you, Shorty?
I'm 6'1".
Oh, okay. Well, Shorty, you're not too short, but all
Not
right.
at all. Not at all. It's just a little nickname. Just a little nickname I had since I was a kid.
All right. Well, okay. I'm gonna turn it over to Kay, and Kay jump right on
Y'all should
in.
y'all
And
my brother's also in here too. Y'all should give Al Will 41 a try. Let him run it up on y'all.
Well,
listen,
come
Al
on,
Will.
Al.
Listen. Al Will was getting all into it when Mr. Bird was talking about that threesome thing. So I 41 got that packing up his sleeve.
Go
Al.
ahead, bro. Get that, bro. Get that.
I see Miss
Okay.
Millie too. Let Miss Millie talk, because Miss Millie, I need to hear from the lady. Miss Millie.
Yes.
I need to hear
Okay.
from Miss Millie.
So
Because Miss
jump on
Millie look
in,
like she
Kay,
a
and
player
bring them in.
anyway. You know, Miss Millie a
Okay,
player
so
anyway. So let me.
Okay.
Come on, Miss Millie.
I do believe that you can be in love and also love two people at the same time. I mean, we love people more than one person every day. I mean, you love your mom, you love your kids, you know, friendships. But I mean, we love people differently, of course, you know. However, so I think the same can go with you know, two people that you meet. You can love them because they may bring two different things to you. But I think the dynamic of it has to be the dynamic of it. What I'm hearing a lot of is like, no, like when we look at it more in the cheating aspect, it's because one party does not know, or both parties. It may only be the one person and the other two don't know. Then I think that becomes a problem. But in more, it seems from what I've researched and read about the polyamorous lifestyle, you got to remember these are 3 or more people that are all on the same page. So you know, it's not anyone, you know, deceiving anyone in that type of lifestyle. And these are women who are, I mean, they're okay with that. Like when you said earlier, Dr. Fabulous, how could this man, like, how could he approach me to get me into that? I don't think it's about that. I think these women are already okay and willing to get into that type of lifestyle. And some women, I mean, I have, you know, certain friends that I know that are okay with it because they look at it and feel like a man is going to do what he want to do. I'd rather, you know, not be behind my back and this, that, and the other. And then, so I just really feel like it's the dynamic. If everybody's on the same page, I think that's where the honesty has to come in, because it's not for everyone. So a
Yes,
lot of
it's
people,
definitely not for Dr.
right, and that
Fabulous,
is
because like I said,
totally
I'm very selfish.
right. That is totally, totally fine. But I think we have to too, when trying to understand that lifestyle, we have to pull away from, a lot of us tend to look at it as a cheating aspect of it, or just lustful, or just sex. But these people, I think it was Dr. Feelgood said, it's more than that. Like, they actually are running the household together. Finances are involved. They're all pitching in, things like that. And then also, to piggyback on one of the someone who spoke earlier, believe it or not, in African culture, I mean, African kings had more than one wife. But it wasn't looked at like that. I think we westernize it's just different, which is understandable, because when you're taught a certain way, that's what we tend to follow. But them having more than one wife had more to do with the structure, like, of the kingdom, the unification, like someone said, keeping it well, I don't know about keeping it in the bloodline with the kids. It wasn't what some of us thinking, like, we're just thinking of it like, oh, just having a bunch of sex with a bunch of different women. And it was more to it. It had more substance to it. Now, when you're dating, I can see dating more than one person, and you may fall in love with more than one person. I mean, two people just are going to bring something to you. Ultimately, for me, yes, I would want to find that. I do. I want to find that in that one person. And when it comes to marriage, I'm not with a lifestyle of marrying, and being in the household with other women. That's just not my preference. But I understand, thinking wise, how it comes about and why some people, are down with it. But I mean, I don't know about I know in dating, I've dated more than one person. And when you're dating more than one person at the same time, and you can easily fall in love.
Now,
and then it comes
Can you fall in love with both of them?
You can, because everybody, huh?
I'm laughing because I always think about that's that Build-A-Bear syndrome now. Because as ladies, you look for men, and I guess every woman have their type. And you may find that type that you really like, but then they just missing that one segment. And then you get that next one, and he got that segment, and you like, dog, if I could just merge them together.
Yeah, that does happen. I mean, you can like someone because of the time he spends with you, or how he treats you. But then the other guy you're dating, or he might treat you well as well, but you like something about him very strongly as well. Now, there will become a time where I guess you will have to choose, but my thing is, that's where it comes. A lot of men, I feel, in an experience, can't handle a woman wanting to be in an open style relationship and date two men. For some reason, men can't seem to be down with this. So it's harder to be honest with men and say, hey, I'm really into you. I want to deal with you. I want to be with you. But I do have someone else that I see on a regular as well. And I deal with them. A lot of men aren't going to. So it's hard for us women to do that. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's like, I think it depends on the point you are in your life too. And it depends on the individual. If I could have it my way, and I'm gonna be in all honesty, I would. But it's hard because a lot of men don't accept that.
But as Lady T says now, until you get that ring on your finger and you walk down that aisle, you can date as many men as you want. And it's funny that when a woman does that, we tend to be labeled a certain way.
Absolutely.
However, men can do it all the time. Absolutely. And they're not labeled. I know Nasty Jackson sitting over there waiting to jump in because, I know he's into that one woman, quote unquote, But what I'm saying is, before he got into his, he was Nasty Jackson. That's how he got that name. Everyone, he was Nasty Jackson. So, Miss
Can I say
Lily,
something?
you can. iPhone, what is your name? You just got iPhone. We need to know who you are.
Well, my name was originally George. How you doing, ma'am?
George.
Hi,
Okay,
George.
George.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
So, yes, how you doing?
Doing well.
Great. So, just to piggyback off what you saying, as a married man, I'm not gonna lie, I am very double standard. I am, and she can tell you that too. She hates it, but when I say it's okay for me to be like that, no, I won't. But it's just certain stuff that I can do that you just can't do.
So,
And I
George,
know,
name me one thing that you think that you should be able to do, but the woman can't be able to do, because maybe I need to teach your woman the finger gorge. You see that? You see the finger, and it goes like,
yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, George. I'm just playing with you. I'm not
I'm not
really violent, not at all.
But you said name one thing.
Name one thing that you think you should be able to do, but your wife, I believe you said wife, should not be able
Yes,
to
ma'am.
do. What is it?
Okay. To answer your question, it's nothing that I can do that she can't do. It's just the mindset of a man. We are very double standard, and it's just if I think somebody is looking at her the wrong way or something, I'm gonna say something. But I can look all day and her just have to be okay with it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. I don't gotta be okay with nothing. I'm not saying you gotta be okay with anything. I'm just saying. It's just the rules of the game. It's not right. It's not right at all. But it just is what it is.
All right.
That sounds like it's selfish to me. How can you stick your hand in the cookie jar, but I can't stick mine?
Say it again, ma'am.
I said that sounds very selfish to me. How can you stick your hand in the cookie jar, but I can't stick mine?
And baby, be quiet.
Not the baby be quiet. Who's the baby be quiet?
She over here beside me now playing her game. But I'm not, but like I said, like from jump, I never said what I do was okay.
Okay.
I never said it was.
You think she should tolerate it, right?
You know what? Yes, ma'am. And that is selfish of me.
Oh,
she should be slapping you right about now.
Okay.
So why should she tolerate that?
Cause he a man. He a man, lady.
No, let him answer. Why should she tolerate that?
Why should she have to tolerate that?
That's right.
I wouldn't really say that she has to, because if she wanted to leave, she could. Vice versa. Yeah, right. Girl, stay in your game. But it's just if she wanted to leave, she could. So I'm not saying she has to tolerate it. As of right now, she's choosing to tolerate it. That sounds really bad. That sounds really bad.
Mr. George, you listen, you got you a good one. But I'm gonna go on over here to Mr. Beard, because if I keep talking to you, you might get in trouble tonight. So I'm gonna let you slide on that one. Mr. Beard, you got your hand up. It's raised. Come on and tell me what you're talking about, Mr. Beard.
All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I listen to everybody and what on iPhone because I forgot what he said. George said is absolutely right. It sucks. It's a double standard. I'm not gonna lie to you. I guess you could say it's the way society raised us. It's the way that we've been bred to think. It's the way that we kind of been brought up. You know, a lot of women sit back and say, you know, you can't tell me what to do unless you put a ring on it. But them the same ones throwing irons and chairs at our head when we look at stuff. You know what I mean? We want to settle down just like women do. We want to be in a relationship, in a committed relationship, just like women do. But it does happen that way. And it is a double standard. I can sit back and say, if I was dating somebody and she's like, yo, I want to bring a chick in to spice up my love life, I'd be like, okay, let's do it. She said, I want to bring a dude in. We got a problem. It's not fair. I understand that. It's not cool. I understand that. But it all goes down to what your purpose is and what you're willing to tolerate. I'm just not going to have another dude playing with my old lady. But, you know, you got a girl there and you bring her in. That's not my fault. All I'm saying is okay. And it's not that we sit back and we think that we high and mighty and we have our cake and eat it too. Because, you know, we compromise on other fronts as well. You know what I mean? I'm going to look at a chick, this and this and this. Sometimes my old lady going to look at that chick too. She want to look at the dude. Do I have a problem with it? Yeah, I'm not looking at that boy. That's just not my cup of tea. Now, it might be somebody else that might decide that they want to look at that guy. That's good for them. But I can only speak on my purposes, my life experiences, and what I'm